Hello, hello, hello. Guess what? We are live, Mother. Listen, we want to welcome you on this great day to Real Talk with Dr. Laura. I'm Dr. Laura, and I have the pleasure of also making way for my co host to say hello to you as well. Co host.
Hello, hello. Oh,
Hello, hello. Okay, not yet,
very
not
good.
yet, you. Okay, and guess what? Listen, we have with us a very special guest on today.
What? I take the picture.
You did. Tell everybody what your name is.
My name is Jeff Roger.
His name is James Walker, and James Walker is with us. Y'all see what James Walker is doing? And that's what we're talking about today. We are talking about the absolute amazement of kids. This is my great nephew. The absolute amazement of young people his age that's able to navigate social media, iPhones, tablets, Androids, whatever kind of phone that you have, you know what I'm talking about. But they are able to actually navigate these these devices, and I just think it is so absolutely amazing. So we have a few things we're going to talk about today. The first is because you do realize oftentimes we're kind of like today taken aback because, of course, in my mother's generation, right, with the phone and the social media, right, okay, we know it didn't even exist, right?
Mm.
Okay, so, I mean, they were just kind of coming through the times where they would have actual
Why did
phones and, okay, hold on one second, Jude. Well, they would have phones and stuff, right? But today, and then, of course, in my generation,
I think
came along some other different technology. When I remember relocating actually to North Carolina, and even then they had kind of an initial. They had an initial. Wait, okay, wait, Jew. They had an initial kind of like cell phone. It was the flip one. It was the one that was like it would get very hot, when you would use it. And so that is kind of where I kind of came in contact with an iPhone. I said iPhone with a cell phone. Those old cell phones, many of you may probably remember. They even kind of had some kind of like odor to them. It was kind of odd. If they got hot, you just felt even by having one of those phones, it didn't feel safe.
Mm-mm.
So we have come a long way. We have come a very long way. And so now here we are. We are in the midst of this whole big, not only social media, we are now in the midst of AI. That's another story. But, we are in the midst of this whole social media age. And as you, I'm sure, saw the
Yeah.
topic is about we're talking about you have to turn that off, Drew, because the people out there see that camera, they're not going to be able to hear what we're talking about. So with social media, so today you saw our conversation is around not just social media, but it's about social media and all of the things that can kind of create issues, even mental health issues. And so I'm saying all of that to say this. The reason why I have my special little guest here today with us, my great nephew, is because at his age, right, he's 4 years old now. But even prior to that, in daycare, they are already using like laptops and iPads and tablets and iPhones and this little guy, as you can see here. Hold up your phone, Jew. Hold up your phone so they can see it. He has his own phone. He has a tablet and iPad and he is able to use it. He can take pictures. Actually, when we came in here earlier, I asked him, "So you gonna take a picture?" He took a photo. You might have noticed while the show had started. And but I'm gonna tell you, they are so smart with technology. He knows how to use it. He knows how. He's looking at himself. He knows how to, push up the different, when you have too many sessions open. He knows how to get rid of close out the sessions. He knows how to get into the iPad by putting in his security code. I mean, come on, 4 years old, right? He just turned 4 in July, and he knows how to get into he knows how to get into, you know, he knows how to get into all of these different things by utilizing social media, and I just think it is incredible.
Granny, what
You know, so he knows how to take pictures. He's
Go,
actually
Granny.
he's taking a picture now of Granny,
I'll take it.
and he's taking a picture of his auntie. So he took a picture of me a couple of weeks ago. And when he took the picture, let me share with you what he said to me. He said, "Good job." He knows how to take selfies. So I just brought him here because I wanted, and you all out there who have, of course, kids and grands and great grands, you understand this whole concept. But I think it's so amazing. Right here, we have several generations, right? My mother's generation that didn't have even like, foreign computers or, of course, the things that we have now. My generation, right, came along and we had access to a lot of things. And of course, his generation is here and they have access to so much more. But just a moment, Mother, when we're talking about cameras and tablets and iPads, what do you think about when you see people and they are like attached to their phones? What do you think?
Oh my God, my God, my God. I tell you, they live on the phone. You can sit down and call them maybe 2 minutes, 3 minutes. They don't even hear you. The phone, and then I said, "Mine, Lord, the phone, the phone." I said, the phone needs to go. That's too much. Too much. You get ready to talk to somebody. Sometimes they want to talk some serious stuff. And their phone don't so bad. They don't hear nothing you say. Nothing. You hear what I say? Oh, what you say? I said, "Oh, now you didn't hear that." And then I go all over again. But I tell these phones, it's good to have a phone.
Yeah.
But the phones is terrible because they don't know when to get off the phone.
Right.
It gets on the phone, but they don't know when to get off.
Yeah.
All during the night, they's on the
Mhm.
phone.
Mhm.
You think they're sleeping, but they're on the phone.
But they're on the phone.
Yeah, on the phone.
Mother, they be on the phone all time of day and night.
Oh my God, yes, all time, day and night they're on the phone. And they know about everything. I'm talking about some TV, they know it already. Oh, I don't see that. I said, "You see this? The word they would tell me nothing." The phone. Some of the phone got to go.
Mother says some of the phone has got to go.
Got to go.
I know, but the phones I was sharing with my mother, right? As I said, we're in different generations, and when he is this age and I am the other age, right?
I take a picture.
You sure did. Show Granny a picture. When we are at different ages, in different places, when he is my age, I'm her age, guess what's gonna happen?
What are your
I'm gonna be thinking to myself, like, wow, like how has this happened? How have we gotten to this time where, whatever it is that will be created at that time, probably robots really moving around. I don't know if any of you, I might be dating myself, but do you remember the show called The Jetsons, where way back then they would be flying and they had cars that was flying and they had robots and stuff. The maid was a robot. And so when they had those different kind of things, right? We was thinking like, oh, when we get to like 2000, we probably gonna have robots like that, right?
Take a picture.
Okay, you gotta look over here at the camera, okay? So I was thinking like, wow, by the year 2000, we probably gonna have robots like maid robots and stuff. We're not there yet. We are not even there yet, and the Jetsons was on a very long time ago, right? So just in thinking, when we think about, for example, with the different types of things that are happening right now. Okay, so Drew, say bye to the people.
Bye, people.
All right, good job. Tell me you see him next time.
Can see you next time.
We will see you next time. Thank you, James Walker. Yay! James Walker did a phenomenal job today.
Yes, it is.
I really wanted him to come, and I don't know if you heard the camera. He was like, he was taking pictures. There's pictures on his phone right now. My mother, he took them in black and white. I mean, he was doing this thing over here. And I said all that to say that imagine when he gets my age. If the world still exists, right? I can't even imagine what things will look like at that time. But I was sharing with my mother, as far as phones is concerned, that phones are like um our computer. It's like our computer that we are walking around with um in our pocket, in our pocketbook. So that's the reason why we find it so convenient, mother. Anything we're looking for, it's on our phone.
On the phone.
You know,
Everything.
she said on the phone, everything.
Everything.
If you need a recipe, you can find it on the phone. If you need directions, you can find it on the phone. If you need to research and look into somebody's information, history, story, you can find it out on your phone.
Yeah.
If you want to find out about a business or a company, you can find it out on your phone. And then on top of that, to include AI, we are really in the midst of, just a different world. So there's a lot of things, but with that, because there's a lot of good things, and that's what the part that I'm talking about, even with our young people, like my great nephew growing up into this world of technology and AI. But at the same time, there's also, I would call all that pros, those are good things. So now, but if we look at the con side of that, the things that we are seeing now that's creating problems, but that also, as it moves even forward into the world of AI, we will see even more problems. And that is because people are so, as my mother said, they're so attuned to their phones, they're so attached to what they are seeing, and they're so focused everywhere you go. Everywhere you go, people are walking, walking with the phone. They're on a bus, they're on the phone. If they're on the train, they're on the phone. My mother said, in your car, you're on the phone. And it's true. People are on the phone all the time, and the light has an impact. Even the light from our phone has an impact in within our memory, in our brains, and it is causing a problem. And so much so is that it's actually having a problem on our mental health, mother. And a lot of people were talking about at this stage, when you have different with at this stage, when you have different people kind of watching, like young people, like kids, for example, they play a lot of games and stuff on their phones, on their tablets, and it's really creating mental health issues because they are now finding that, a lot of these kids, they're watching things and they are listening to things, talk to them through the phone. My mother said one of her grandkids, also my nephew, when he was at her house one time and spending the night, and she heard him saying, "I can hear you," because they were saying something through the phone and he was responding back.
Yeah.
And I was like, "Well, who are you talking to?" Because we really have to be aware. There's so many things going on behind the scenes. The parents, you already know this, but this just serves kind of as a reminder and an encouragement. Please be mindful of what your kids and your grandkids and your great grandkids are watching, looking at the little movies that they're watching on YouTube, the games that they are playing. A lot of those games have a negative impact on young people. And it's the reason why they're playing all these little shoot 'em games and killing everything they see, then they get up, and a lot of times kids have access to rifles and guns in their homes.
Yeah.
Those things that they saw, all that's bloody and gory, just gory and just, scary and frightening with shooting and killing people, they ingest that stuff. Their minds are not mature enough to handle that. So they take it in, and then they get older, then they have a problem. They don't like somebody, or somebody's bullying them, or they're having an issue with someone. They end up with a mental health issue because of that. And then guess what happens? Then they go with a gun that they have found in their home, and then they're out, they're out in a place where they find themselves trying to kill someone.
Yeah.
I
think that somebody's on too much. We was growing up, we didn't even have a TV or nothing.
Right.
We made it.
That's right.
We got grown, but we didn't have nothing around there, want to play, your mother taught us to go outside and play. We didn't have nothing, maybe play a little ball or basketball, but otherwise we didn't have nothing else to play.
Right.
Play with one another.
Right.
You go down, maybe down across the field, I would say, and you play with your friends.
Yes.
friends talk back to you.
Mm-hmm.
And you didn't have all this stuff. But now they have too much.
Yeah.
They have too much.
Yeah.
And most of it gets them in trouble. Gets them in trouble. They just do what they want to do.
Listen,
Say what they want to say.
that's right.
Even little Jew.
Yeah.
They cuss on that phone.
But
They cuss. Yeah.
listen, this is real talk, right? Mother is just letting me right out. She said, listen, it's just too much. It's way too much. When we was kids, we went outside and we played games, and there are very few kids that are going outside actually playing. Sometimes they go out and get a little run in, a little play. But for the most part, kids are inside, they're on their phones. They spend more time actually on their phones than they do engaging in conversation. Parents are no longer, most often, not every parent, but most families don't even sit down at the table, mother.
Mm-mm.
Have dinner, have a conversation. How was your day? Tell me what's going on at school. Tell me what you're doing on that phone. What are you watching? What are you learning? And we have to get back to having kids. I'm going to give you a book. I want you to sit down and read this book and come back and tell me what the book was about. But those things that they're having an issue with mental health. It's oftentimes where people are anxious and they're nervous and they're fearful because of things that they see in social media. Many times they have sleep issues at night. A lot of people have difficulty sleeping because of the light that's inside that's feeding out of the phone into your mind. So even for us as adults, they say it's not good to be looking and so engaged with the light on your phone before bed because it does have an impact on your nights, whether or not it will be restful. So we have to take those things into account. And then, of course, there's another thing they talk about. It's called digital fatigue. And that is when people just get tired of just the social media world, of just watching. And, I don't do all that watching on my phone. I do, of course, watch and look at my phone. I utilize my phone well because I do a lot of things on my phone. Besides, of course, calling and texting and different apps and watching different things and Googling stuff and learning things, ordering stuff on the phone. So I do plenty on my phone too. I have a Bible app on my phone as well. I don't do a whole lot of studying on my phone because it's difficult for me with those little words and that's just too much. I really try to do that on my laptop. But, I do have that. So if I'm in the space and I need to look up something, I do have access to it. But it can be a lot. It really can be a lot, So even like with YouTube and different things like that, my TV at the house, of course, I can, watch YouTube. And so that is where I try to watch things on the big screen. So I'm not just so focused on this small screen watching everything. So phones, of course, and technology and the usage of it on the phones, it's not a bad thing. It's really not a bad thing. But what has happened is that people have lost the boundaries. They have lost the fact that I don't need to be on my phone 24/7 hours a day. We know people are not on their phone 24 hours a day. I know that, but people certainly are on their phone for many more hours than they should be, and that indeed is causing issues with people's mental health. So just in thinking about that, what is your thought? What would you like to share, especially to the parents who have little ones, like little Jew who was here with us, our special guest today? What would you say to parents of parents who have kids his age and a little bit older?
I guess sometimes you don't really know what to say to them.
That's good.
Because they got the kids rule them.
That's the whole world.
Instead of they rule the kids ruling them. So ain't too much they can say to the kids.
Wow.
So you have to really talk to them. Sometimes you might want to get mad enough to knock them and hurt them.
Yeah.
And then that's not good because you're in trouble.
Right.
But I tell you, today, you can't tell the kids too much.
You can't tell the kids too much.
Even a Jew, you can't tell them too much.
Right.
Because Jews talk back to you too sometimes.
Yeah, the little kids.
Yeah, little kids.
Yeah.
And I just think you have to pray for them.
Yeah.
to grow up strong
Yeah.
and have God in their heart and mind.
Yeah.
And learn to play with little sisters and brothers and play with their friends.
Yeah.
Because sometimes they might just be, real nice, but then their friend out there is a little different.
Right.
Then they out there playing with the friends.
Exactly.
But I tell
You
you,
cause the problem.
I think we can just do the best we can and talk to the parents and let them talk to their children and
Right.
make the children mind a little bit better.
That's right.
Just mind. You say something to them, move.
Yeah.
Let them talk back to you.
Yeah.
Some of them will.
That's right.
And, just
That's
do the,
good,
best,
mother.
do the best you can.
That's right.
Keep praying for them.
Yeah.
And God will turn them around.
That's right.
Might not be right now, but He will.
Mm-hmm. That's good, mother. I love that. That's the whole message. Listen, I hope y'all picked up on that wisdom. That's a full message right there. And especially like I said, with times, when she started out talking about that particular thing, she just started off rather by saying that that kids today, they're not listening to their parents, and sometimes parents, growing up, I wasn't friends with my mother. She wasn't trying to be my friend. She was my mother, and she was being my mother. So there was things, of course, I know I respect for my mother. She said, "Come, you come, and you listen." And guess what? As cute as I am, y'all, as cute, y'all see me, as cute as I am, I wasn't too cute that she couldn't spank, huh? Right? So these babies are cute, right? But there are times where discipline is needed. Someone called me on yesterday, and we were talking for a while, and they was telling me about their friend. Their friend had a daughter that was with a boy, and they was, of course, doing things they should not have been doing. She's 15 years old. So he beat the daughter with a belt. And the daughter ran to the neighbor's house, and the neighbors called the police saying, "Oh, she's in danger. Her life is in danger, blah, 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 blah." The police come and they arrested the father and charged him with child abuse and some other kind of, charge. So he was like, "What am I supposed to do? That's my daughter. Can I not discipline her?" And I said, it's interesting because if someone don't allow you to discipline your child, and we're not talking about murdering and killing and, really abusing your child. We're talking about disciplining your child. Matter of fact, the scripture says, that you spare the rod, you spoil the child. The scripture also says that if you beat them, they won't die. Listen, my mother disciplined us and we didn't die. I'm still here. Amen. Bless God, right? And I'm better for it. So, but if you are not allowed and you don't discipline your kids, guess what? When they get older, if they get out of hand, somebody gonna discipline them. The system will discipline your kids. If that means locking them up or putting them in juvie or any of those other places. So you have to be okay with knowing that yes, there is a place for chastisement. Listen, the Bible says the Lord chastises those whom He loves. When you love your children, you want them to do well. You don't want them to be out there doing whatever, however, getting in trouble. So yeah, it's okay to address, hey, you was doing X, Y, and Z, don't do that. That's not what you should be doing. And how kids do, because I was a kid once, right? And I would say the same thing, you be doing stuff with your friends, and we know the thing that parents ask kids, oh, okay, so you're doing what your friend do now. Is that what we're doing here? So we have to remember that kids are to look to their parents and those who their guardians for instruction. For instruction.
Yeah.
Kids, their brains are still forming. Their brains are still maturing. Their thought process is still maturing. So if you just allow your kids to be off on their own, doing whatever they want to do, especially when they're small, and they're able to control you and tell you where we're going, where we're not going. This is what I'm going to do and what I'm not going to do. No, this is what you're going to do. As the adult, you are the one who should be telling them what to do and what they're not doing.
Yeah.
And we're the ones to set the stage or even kids on how kids are to address you. I was sharing with someone earlier today that I remember years ago, an organization I worked for. The mother and I actually, my boss her daughter was in the office this particular day. She was 5 years old, and her mother and I both had the same name, Laura. And but she sent her daughter to my office to ask me a question.
Mhm.
And so daughter comes, she stands at my door and she says, Laura. And I said to her, no, Miss Laura to you. We're not equals. You don't have the rights to call me Laura or to call me by my now. You may do that in your house with your uncles and your aunties and them. You might call them by their first name, but you're not gonna call me by my first name because I'm not your equal. You cannot approach me. And we were talking about we went to lunch today in this particular scenario. I was sharing that when I moved to where I am now many years ago, and I was saying that my mother, I was telling her about an older couple who would invite the young people from the church to their home to eat dinner on Sundays. This is those of us who relocated. Our family members was not here. Most often we were like a solo, like the only person that was in the town. We didn't know anybody, but people in our church, and they made a community of us. And I was telling my mother that the lady who invited me there, young lady, I remember her saying to me, she would call them by the first names. So I was sharing with my mother. I said, hey, we went to their house and so. Do you know she calls them by their first name? And my mother said to me, oh, that's nice, but don't you call them by their first name. Why? That is setting standard. That's setting standard. And we have to set the standard with the young people coming up behind us so that they are respectful. My great nephew that was just sitting here not that long ago, when we went out to eat this afternoon, and he is 4 years old. But guess what? Thank God his mother is just working with him diligently, teaching him some great things. He's a very smart little boy. And he was holding the door for us.
Yeah.
4 years old, holding the door for ladies. And I love that because, they say chivalry seems to be dead in so many places. Men will, a lot of times knock you over getting in front of you, So a lot of men are not holding doors up. They're not teaching their sons, hey, hold the door open for the lady. They're not teaching those things anymore. But those things are still important, right? Yeah. Just think they're so important. And we cannot forget those things. We cannot forget those important things that we have learned, that we have grew up on. So it's important as we're talking about social media. We're talking about the impacts of social media, of course, with mental health and all those things. And then we got, of course, kind of branched off to where we are in this world in reference to kids and of course, not having access to a lot of outside play. Some of them do. Thank God some parents do pull their kids in and they find opportunities on the outside to play. But so often young people are on the phones. Not only young people, adults, but including myself. I do a lot of stuff on my phone. But all of us have to take time and pull away from the phone to take mental health breaks. Because if not, the phone, you can get over inundated even in your thoughts, in your mind. You can find yourself trying to rest at night, but not get the rest that you need because we are so on our phones, scrolling and looking for something, ordering stuff, watching things. And all those things are good. I'm not saying that they're bad. I was sharing with my mother. My mother, of course, who was in a different generation. She's 94 years old. They didn't have access to all that. My mother's not carrying a laptop in her bag like I am because I'm doing different things. As I was sharing with her, our iPhone, our tablets, our Android phones, they're like, little computers in our pockets. So it's the reason why we're so focused on them. But even with that, we have to pull back for our own mental health and be able to take a breather and to even say, sometimes you just got to put the phone down and say, I'm going to rest. I'm going to sit at the table with my family. We're going to have a conversation because I don't know about you. Those of you that are watching, I have people watching in several places. I don't know if you experience this, but when I go out, even when my husband and I go out to eat, dinner, we're going out like on a date, right? Or when I'm going out with my mother and my sister, we went out today for lunch. It's so easy to pick up your phone and just be looking, even when you should be engaged with the people that you are with. So my husband and I, when we go out, we say, oh, phones down. put the phone away. We're not going to pull out any phone. But you know how it is in your mind. You're like, oh, somebody. Oh, I just heard a text come through. I just want to see, But no phones. And we should do the same thing when we sit down and eat dinner. We should first of all be sitting down with our family members because that's our family times. While we're eating, phones down, phones away. Let's look at it. Let's look at each other. Let's have a conversation. Let us see, hey, how was your day? What's going on your job? What's going on in your classroom? What did your teacher share with you today? How's work? How are things going? What's the load that you're carrying? We need to reach out and have this basic conversation with each other like never before because we are living in different times right now. And, there are a lot of things in the world that can create stress. And so we don't want us being on the phone so much that it causes any of us to be stressed because of what we are seeing and viewing and just taking in too much of that information. So we are certainly out of time, but of course we're never out of conversation. But look, I want to thank each and every one of you for joining me today on Real Talk with Dr. Laura. I thank you for tuning in. You all are with us every week. You're faithful. And I want to say thank you. Listen, it's a great time for us to come together and to conversate around topics that are important to all of us. So I want to, as I leave this place, I want to invite you out to on Thursday. This Thursday will be my first episode of Truth That Transforms. We're going to be digging deep into scripture. And guess what? You don't have to come and be ready for an hour or half an hour. We're going to do 20 minutes top. 20 minutes top. We're going to dig in the word. We're going to get in and we're going to hop out. And we're going to do our thing. So on Thursday, I'll be on this same channel. It's going to be at 7:05 p.m. So Truth That Transforms with Dr. Laura at 7:05 p.m. And of course, next Sunday, we will be back again, live at 5 for Real Talk with Dr. Laura. I want my mother to greet you all as we go out for this great day.
Yes. Well, we're gonna go for another week. We got another week, and so we'll go and enjoy one another. So I hope y'all enjoy the book I speak today on the phone. I hope you enjoy and have a very good weekend.
All right. God bless you all. God bless. And we look forward to connecting again Thursday, 7:05 p.m. or next Sunday, live at 5. God bless you guys. See you soon. All right. All right. Let me see. Yep. All right.
Hallelujah. Bye-bye.
Yes.